Easily remove a green screen background in Photoshop. Start by selecting your green screen layer. The first step is to make a selection out of the green screen so that we can mask it out. There's a lot of ways to do that in Photoshop. You can use the quick actions to remove the background by using artificial intelligence, but I find that with green screen, an older tool actually does a better job. So go into the select menu and select color range. The color range allows you to select specific colors, and it does a fantastic job with green screens. Make sure that you have sample colors selected from the dropdown. Then enable the eyedropper tool and click over the green screen. You'll notice in the preview window that Photoshop will select these areas. Obviously, that's not selecting the entire green screen. You need to select similar greens. To do so, you can hold the Shift key and click and drag over the rest of the green screen to add to that selection, like so. You can also select the eyedropper with the plus icon on it, but I prefer just using the keyboard shortcut. At this point, we're going to invert the selection because we want to select her and not the green screen. Also, I noticed that I missed an area here in the bottom, so I'm going to hold Shift and click and drag to add to my selection. You can also get an actual preview of what you're selecting with the image. To do so, click on the image icon, and from selection preview, select either black matte or white matte. I think that in this case, the black matte gives you a better representation of the selection. Also, I would like to point out that you don't have to make a perfect selection out of her hair at this moment. We're going to work with it in a later step. So for now, this is a fantastic selection. So I'll press OK, and Photoshop will create a selection around my model. And by the way, if you see something in this tutorial that you enjoy or that will help you in your projects, make sure to click on that like button. It really helps out the channel with the YouTube algorithm. So I really would appreciate it if you did. Next, I'm going to click on the layer mask icon to create a layer mask based on that selection, and that removes the background. What we're going to do now is fine-tune this image so that it looks a lot more realistic with this background. You don't need to follow this step, but I'm going to create a solid color fill layer above my background so that you can better see the adjustments that I'm making. Next, I'm going to select the layer mask, and we're going to adjust the mask edges. And I'll go through it fairly quickly. If you want more details, watch that video. I'll place a link to it below in the description. Next, click on the Selected Mask button from the Properties panel to bring up the Selected Mask workspace, which will allow you to fine-tune the mask edges. Under View, I'm going to select Unblack because, again, I think Unblack gives me a better representation of what my mask looks like. And we're first going to adjust the edges around our model's body, not her hair. Again, we're going to work with the hair in a later step. So we're going to use the global refinement sliders to fine tune this edge. Notice that the edge is a bit jagged, so I'm going to smooth it out by dragging the smooth slider to the right. That smooths out my edge. It looks much, much better. Then I can increase the contrast to sharpen the edge. And I can shift the edge inwards just a little bit. And that will not remove the fringe, the halo around the layer, but that's okay. We're going to fix that next. I'll press OK, and those adjustments are applied to my mask. Next, let's select the brush tool, and you can paint with white or black on the layer mask to hide or reveal pixels. Black hides, so I'll set my foreground color to black so I can hide this imperfection. And I can hold the space bar and pan around to see what other areas I can adjust. In this case, everything looks good for now. We may need to adjust things later, but for now, this is good. So I'll double click on the hand tool and fit the image to screen. Next, I'll remove the edge halos, and I'll use one of my favorite filters for that. Go into Filter, Other, and Minimum. The Minimum filter allows you to contract a mask based on a number of pixels. I'm going to select roundness because I'm working with a person, and of course squaredness wouldn't be the best option for that. And I can adjust the radius accordingly to contract the mask and remove the fringing. I think that this is a pretty good radius, 1.4, and I'll press OK. If I zoom in, you can see that my fringing is now gone. I'll double click on the hand tool to fit the image to screen. And I know I'm going a little fast, so if you missed something, feel free to rewind. Also, if you want to learn more, it's time to work on the hair. And we're going to go back into the Selected Mask workspace for that. So with the mask selected, click on Selected Mask. Next, I'm going to use the Refine Edge tool.